You know, most of us get nervous when we perform on stage. And if you're a beginner player or an intermediate player, chances are then that's one of the big things that you're worrying about, getting up and actually playing on stage. There's really three things I reckon that will really help you with that. Three things that will help you overcome the whole thing about being afraid about performing. I'm going to talk about that today. Well, I've had a kind of strange week. I don't know how it's happened, but somehow this week I ended up going and seeing two amazing comedy shows. Actually, you know what? I've never really been to see a comedy show, and I've seen two amazing ones this week. So Emma and I went with some friends to go see Michael McIntyre do a big stadium show over in Manchester, which was amazing. 13,000 people, packed room, brilliant. And then last night we went and saw Sarah Millican, who's another British comedian. Fantastic, packed house again. And it really got me thinking about performing because, you know, I loved it. I was watching these shows and I was completely captivated by what they were doing on stage. Two completely different performers and, you know, not even musicians, they're comedians. But I was completely captivated by them. And then I started, you know, throughout the night, I was looking around the room and I realized I was so engaged with that person. And then there were thousands of other people in the room that were also completely engaged with that person on stage, and they weren't thinking about the fact that they were in a room with 1,000 other people. Kind of amazing. And it got me thinking about performing and being a saxophone player and being nervous about being on stage, which I know just about all of us struggle with. And I figure there's three things, you know, watching those comedians really got me thinking about the three things that helped me overcome that, and which I think will help you as a performer too, particularly if you're a beginner or an intermediate player. Maybe you've not done a lot of playing live before, and it's something that I'm sure you're thinking about. Do you think about that? I get asked about this all the time, particularly among Sax School members. So I run Sax School, it's a huge community of learners. There's thousands of people using my lessons to learn saxophone. And one of the things I really encourage amongst my Sax School people is to make videos of yourself or to get out and perform. And I know it's a big issue for, you know, a lot of people that's starting out. If you want to check out Sax School and sort of find out what we're doing, you can get a 30-day trial at mcgillmusic.com. And, you know, it's free. You can have a look and see what it's all about. So the thing is, when you are making that first step, though, to going out and performing for the first time, you really need to have a strategy. So I've got three things that I think are really important. So the number one thing about overcoming performing anxiety is really a simple one. It's obvious, right? It's preparation. You need to be prepared. You need to do your practice. You need to know what you're going to play, or at least, at the very least, have done enough practice on those things that you're going to play that you feel comfortable with them. So let's say, for example, you're going to play in a jam session. You know, you need to have a couple of tunes up your sleeve. You need to know some standards or know some tunes that are going to turn up at that session. And maybe that means going to the session a couple of times before you go with your saxophone just to see what's going. And then spending the time learning that stuff and feeling confident with you at home, playing through those tunes and being able to make a great sounding solo. So you've done your preparation. Sounds obvious, but actually a lot of people forget that part. Preparation, man. Preparation. And I guarantee you, you go and see a band, you go see a comedian performing, you go see a show, there's been tons of preparation going on there. So preparation number one. Okay, so the number two thing, and this is a biggie, right? This is a biggie. This is the one that most of us forget about when we are actually on stage or preparing to go on stage. This is such an important thing. So my number two tip, which should really be the number one tip, is that when you're on that stage, you might be in front of 10 people, you might be in front of 10,000 people, and you know, I've been on stage a few times in front of thousands and thousands of people, and it can seem kind of overwhelming. But you got to remember that every person in that audience is looking for an individual reaction with you, an individual connection with you. So when you're on stage, it doesn't matter if there's 5 people or 5,000, 50,000 people, you're performing to one person. Okay? So it's really important that when you are on that stage and you're thinking about the way you're playing, you're not thinking about everybody, you're just thinking about that person. And then maybe you're thinking about that person. And then maybe you're trying to connect with that person. So you're only ever connecting with one person at a time. You know? And if you can connect with that one person, then you can connect with that person. You know, everybody's going to feel as if they're getting a personal connection with you. And that's the magic thing about performing. If you can get that connection with people, that's what everybody wants. That's why I go to a show to see a performer, because I want them to connect with me. I want to have an emotion about their playing, or an emotion about the show, or an emotion about the comedian. You know, I want to have that connection. So when you go out on stage, remember that you really only need to connect with one person. Okay, you need to have that one connection. Okay, so here's my third tip, and this is equally important. And you know, it sounds really simple, but most of us forget this, right? So here's the thing. Tip number 3 is it's so important for you to be having fun when you're performing, and to really to shift the way that you're thinking about performing. I think this is the magic. I think you need to, when you're performing, focus on the fact that you love playing saxophone. That's the reason that you're doing it in the first place, right? You love playing saxophone. So rather than worrying about whether everybody else loves you or loves your playing, the only thing you need to think about is how much you love playing saxophone. Show them that you love playing saxophone, and that's the thing that's going to help them connect with you. And the best way to do that is to get up there and actually have some fun. Do the thing that you love doing, which is playing saxophone and having fun playing music. And if you focus on that, not on will they love me, will they love my technique, am I playing enough notes, am I playing fast enough, am I cool enough? Forget that. Show them how much you love playing saxophone. And if you can do that, I tell you what, my friend, you will connect with that audience, and in the process, you'll also have a brilliant time. Anyway, I hope that's helpful to you, and you'll think about those things next time you're going out and performing. So important, because one of the great things about being a saxophone player is actually going out and performing. Now, of course, if it's your first time here, don't forget to subscribe, because I'm making videos all the time to help you overcome things like performing, learning the right skills, being able to practice more efficiently so you can learn faster. So subscribe, and that way you'll get informed when the new videos come out. And the other thing is, go check out Sax School. It's a 30-day trial you can get for free to have a look. Honestly, it's be one of the best things you can do with your saxophone playing. There's thousands of people using those lessons every day, and I know they're loving them because they keep telling me every day, okay? So there's stuff in there that's going to help you, whether you're a beginner player or an intermediate player, or if you're just coming back to saxophone and want to get your chops back together so you can go out and play in a band, or go out and play with your mates, or get involved with a jam session. Sax School's going to help you get there. So go check it out at mcgillmusic.com. Keep practicing hard. I'll catch you next time.